So let's start this lesson. I posted videos from week 4. They are all, everything that was in class is recorded and posted, including introductions to lessons. So also, previously we discussed assignment 2, and it was discussed in 2 different lessons. One, it was Friday week ago, and that part is posted in week 4. Where is that? No, it's not posted. I won't post it. It is online, but I forgot to make link. So it will be linked to assignment 2 discussion in week 4. It is already on GitHub, but I forgot to make link. And in that discussion, I pointed out that assignment is logically somewhat close to a rock, paper, scissors example. And this is why I spent so much time discussing this in previous week and in current week. Rock, paper, scissors example explanation is in 2 videos. One video is here, video 1, where it is rock, paper, scissors. It was the first lesson of previous week. And second lesson video start here. And this is second explanation. We briefly chatted about this example in the current week, but it wasn't very much. So discussions of these 2 videos is probably enough to get basic ideas how to make similar programs. Also, whatever I explain is not just coming from air. It's coming mostly from the Google course that I posted link to. I just don't display follow this directly because what's the point? You can watch those videos if you want and read those explanations. Also, I believe that explaining the same thing or similar thing in slightly different contexts helps with understanding because you see slightly different approach in slightly different context. So if first time is missed for some reason, maybe second time is will hit the target. So for this reason, I'm not going line to line from that Google course. Also, some parts, for example, dependency injection with Hilt, I'm not discussing it, so this is why, but it is part of architecture guide, so I have to introduce it somehow. So I already started discussing dependency injection with Hilt at the previous lesson. I will also chat about it this today with example, and it will mostly continue in the future. Because we will keep using it and you will see it multiple times, it will be, say, comfy in the end. So it's not totally mysterious topic, although it's not in the part of the course, there is documentation online. And one more thing, we don't use all features of it. Because it is quite a complicated system, we just use basics in order to get introduction and in hope that you will learn other features in case you need them. So this is my philosophy about that topic. So I forgot to create link to assignment 1 discussion in week 4. Week 5 videos are not posted. They're recorded, but they're not posted. I will take care of it after this class before I go home. Because network connection at Sheridan is multiple times faster than at my home. It takes hours to upload it from home because they're huge. But for videos are huge. It's like one video maybe like 8 gig. So, and from here it's just less than half an hour. So. Also, please notice that quiz 1 is opened, and it will close tomorrow at night. So if you didn't do it, please do it. Last chance to do it is tomorrow. Don't do it last moment because last moment many things can happen. So don't postpone it. Quiz 1 is entirely based on slides posted here, posted in week 4. So quiz 1 is entirely based on slides posted in week 4. Introduction to Android app architecture and basic elements of Android API, these two. I discussed them in class and I video recorded this discussion. The discussion is intended as extra explanation if it's necessary, but quiz is not based on the discussion. It is directly coming from slides. So if you go through slides and context is clear, so just you can ignore video. And if something is not clear, you can review video. So this is the intention of it. Yeah, I forgot to create link for assignment 2 discussion here. There is also some discussion of assignment 2 at the previous lesson of this week. On Tuesday, I was discussing it a little bit. It is shorter discussion, but I will also create video. It will be assignment 2, video 2 discussion. Okay. I will probably just make link during break, so it's not for this. For week 4, I will just make it during break. A link during break. Since it's assignment, since it is week 5, next week is last before midterm. Right? Midterm is on week 7. We need to talk about midterm, obviously. And midterm will contain 2 parts. One part is theory. In theory, it will be somewhat similar to what you had in quiz 1. It is the same pool of questions, but not exactly the same questions. Maybe some of them may repeat because it is the same pool. So this is the idea. There is no extra theory for it. It is the same pool of questions for theory of quiz 1. So study for quiz 1. If you get excellent grade for quiz 1, you don't really have to worry about first part of midterm. So second part. Second part is practical, and you really need to make the program work. So quiz part is also limited to 20 minutes because it will be 20 questions. When you finish quiz, you can start practical part. So if you finish that 20 MCQ questions in, I don't know, 5 minutes, you have more time for practical one. What is practical part? Remember that I asked you to do exercise 3.1. It was about displaying list and customizing the appearance of this list by changing themes of the project, right? Also, in week 5, I discussed pet data. That was doing somewhat similar, but without customizing of themes. This program was using view model, but exercise didn't use view model. I don't remember it using view model. No, I don't think it was using view model. But this program is using view model. Also to display a display list. So your practical part will be somewhat similar to this. Some data is array of objects. You need to put it into view model and display it using list. So this would be practical part of your midterm. So please make sure that you know how to do it. You just make some data yourself, whatever you prefer, product lists, I don't know, book list, whatever. Library list, yes. Yes.
Will we have access for other programs directly?
Yeah, practical part is open book. You can't do any, access anything. What I'm against is just definitely it would be cheating if you ask other people to do your coding. So this would be definitely cheating. But otherwise, it's or copying work of another student. This is definitely no, right? But it is open book, open internet. It's like any kind of programming, because I try to model practical part as something that you may encounter in real life, and programming is almost never closed book. We always have to look up something because it's hard to remember things. What I want you to demonstrate is your skills, that you can produce working program, which is not very long but substantial, and you can find mistakes in your code and fix them. Because finding mistakes and fixing them is essential part of the programming. Nobody makes programs that works immediately. It's impossible. Even with years of practice in similar area, you just fix your mistakes quicker. But it doesn't mean you don't make the mistakes. You just a lot quicker fix them. So this is what I want to see. I want practical skills to make programs. It's not long program. It's a reasonably short program. To work, you have 3 hours to demonstrate it. And obviously, everyone makes mistakes. So demonstrate your skills that you made it work. Yes?
Will testing be required? Testing annotations?
Yeah, you need to know. I will not ask you to create tests. Testing is required in the sense that you check that it's working. And if it's not working, you need to somehow isolate why it's not working and fix that issue. So it is definitely testing in the sense that if it doesn't work, you need to test it by parts yourself in order to, by probably commenting out code, and eventually isolate the issue that is causing the crash or causing empty screen or causing some misbehavior. So it is testing in the sense of finding issues. It's not testing in terms of writing tests, automatic tests. Okay, questions? More? So this is practical. Expect something similar to this, but definitely it's not copy-paste. So it will not be about pets. Okay. And theoretical part, expect something similar to quiz 1. I'm against any kind of surprises during midterm, so this is why I'm telling this straightforward. So you know what to expect, you know how to prepare, essentially. Okay. So by the time when you do midterm, I assume that you will build your skills with assignment 2 and with exercises, and also do something similar yourself and make sure that you can do it. Because although it is open book and you have 3 hours, it's still too late to start learning how to do it. These things cannot be learned in 3 hours. You have to build your skills before. Right? Questions? No? So let's continue. Stack data example wasn't explained in details. only only view model was explained in details to illustrate the approach. So I will talk about stack data again today in the context of using Hilt dependency injection. This program that I mentioned, similar to your assignment, similar to your practical part of midterm, also has a branch with Hilt dependency injection. No, this is not what I will require during midterm. If you want, you can use it, but it's extra steps and complexity, it's not required. So this program has a branch called simplest. This is what I assume that your program would somewhat use similar ideas, essentially. Okay? Doesn't have to be a copy. What would be required to store data in view model and display it from view model? This will be requirement. How you store it in view model, it's your choice. It's not restricted in any kind of way. All right? This program, what I have, I think it is using either state flow or just a state, I don't remember, but whatever. Whatever your choice. Okay? Questions? No? So this is about midterm. Please come prepared so you're not surprised, and hopefully you will not be surprised. Okay. Yes?
So by any chance, if the midterm exam in practical doesn't run, we get 0 or we get part 1?
Yes, but you will get partial grade, but partial grade will be extremely low. Extremely low means like not more than 30%. But if the theory is very decent, you will pass midterm. But grade will not be good. Okay? So if assume like theory is 50%, practical is 50%. If theory is giving you nearly 100 and this giving you 30%, so yeah, it's not nice grade, but it will be like 60% for midterm. It's still passing, but don't do that. Build your skills for practical one so you can, your program displays something and something, if it displays something, its grade will be above 30%. 30% it means it's crashing or empty screen or just one little piece in the corner. So this is what. Okay? All right, questions? And obviously, it should be some code, not just little piece in the corner in order to get 30%. All right? No? If no questions, so let's start actual lesson today. Now it is week 5. Right, week 5. And in week 5, I posted assignment 2 and discussed this at the previous lesson, so no point of repeating it. PET data was discussed for simplest branch and sort of discussed for Hilt view model, but it was just introduction into Hilt dependency injection. You will build your skills with Hilt dependency injection later, so I don't assume that you will use it in assignment or in midterm. Yes? Oh, there is deadline. It is Saturday next week. Yeah, I didn't make a Dropbox, but it is Saturday next week. So it's definitely not tomorrow. You have time to do it. Deadlines are in week 1 class plan. So they're here. It's Saturday next week. Also, as you see, there is adapt to different screen sizes. And I plan to start this topic today because we're kind of approaching it. This topic can be extremely complicated, but there is no need to cover all these complexities because this course is intended as introduction into ideas and with some practical experience. It's not intended as learning everything about Android programming. So this is why I will start it. There is an example from Google that relatively decent, although it is large, And it is large because it needs to have a code for different screen sizes. So this is why it's large. And that example is not just about different screen sizes. It's also about navigation toolbars or navigation drawers, how to display them. Like you probably saw, yeah, you remember in other apps you have a toolbar at the bottom with icons or toolbar at the left with icons. So this example shows how to do it. This kind of toolbars and drawers. And also shows how to change location of these toolbars depending on screen sizes or depending on the orientation of the screen. So this example is extremely smart in terms of displaying different GUI variants and how a GUI reacts to different device screens or different orientation of the screens. But in terms of practicality, it is dumb because it's imitation of email, and all emails are hard-coded in the program. They just created list of objects, and they display that list of objects hard-coded in the program. It's not getting emails from any kind of server, so it is just right there. Okay, so it's a reasonable demo for GUI, but it's not actual email program in any sense. So I will discuss it today, and hopefully it will be clear at the point that you know how to approach this issue. Right? Connecting internet will either start next week or will be postponed after midterm. I will see. So there is a chance that we will start it next week as well. Because this part, it is quite large. So somehow we need to stretch it even more than 3 weeks. So this using clouds with Android applications, examples are not short. Okay. And so this is my motivation of going quickly right now. Okay. So this is where we are. And let's continue. Week 5. I reposted stack data for the purpose of showing HILT again in slightly different context. Because I believe we finished pet data with discussion of the HILT, and this is also a variant of it. So this is probably where I want to start, and after this I'll go to lunch tray, which is somewhat similar to Cupcake and somewhat similar to assignment because it has multiple screens and navigation between screens. And adapt to different screen sizes will start after break. So this is my plan. So let's do it. So I will open pet data now, and I'll quickly remind you what is the difference, okay, between this program and within the program branches, okay. Pet data. By the way, new Android Studio was up. I found out this in the class, a previous class, because one day before that, they probably released this on October 1st. This is why I found out this in class on October 1st. So please update. I tried. It works. It's just fine. Why I highly recommend you to update? Because newer versions, of course, they may have new bugs. It always happens. But they may fix older bugs at least. Okay. So it makes sense to update it. So also another reason why I want you to update, because projects created on newer version of Android Studio or updated with newer versions of Android Studio will not necessarily run on previous one. And since I updated, it is probably better that you update it as well.